Just to start off, man, mental health within men is not reported enough. Like D'Lo said, if you ain't got stability, you're gonna lose your sanity. That was
Right.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a bar. I ain't gonna lie, that was a bar, but that was a bar. I ain't gonna hold you. That was a
I spit them out every once in a while.
you know what I'm saying?
And again, that stability is a key element in our life. A lot of people don't understand how much stability is for the soul. What we know about this is John Wall wrote a personal, heartfelt letter to the Players Tribune. He talks about how he started out, his life was beginning to look great. He was recalling the time where he was he's been in the league in a while. He's been in the league for a while. He had a chance to get his mom out of the Section 8, get her into a house. Life was good. He was playing well, signed a new contract extension. He was supposed to be with the Washington Wizards for a long time. And then everything turned dark and gloomy towards Achilles. Almost had to have his foot amputated, which is why he hadn't played in 2 years. In the midst of having all of the troubles with his Achilles, he then lost his mother, or his mother was battling cancer. She was on chemo. She had a stroke. He lost her. And then a year later, lost his grandmother. In that time, when he was alone in his thoughts, he thought about losing his life.
Self-deletion,
losing his life. So, yeah, I know we both lost somebody significant in our last couple years, Sticks. But how did this story make you feel, man?
Man, so just to start off, man, mental health within men is not reported enough. And that's mainly because society views man as you got to be strong, suck it up. You fall down, you get back up, brush it off, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? We're meant we in society we're meant to harbor feelings in opposed to talking about our emotions, which is very damaging to men all across the world, man. So I commend John Wall for just saying those words. Yo, I need some fucking help. He said those 6 words changed his life.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I commend him for just standing up and saying, you know what, I can't do all this by myself. I can't keep these feelings inside. I can't keep putting on a mask in front of my boys, and whenever they leave, I'm wanting to leave this earth.
Yep.
So I commend him for just getting up and calling his boy like, yo, I need some help, bro. Like I gotta go see a therapist. I gotta talk to somebody. I commend him for that. So men, if any men that are watching this, if you are going through some things, man, talk to somebody. Reach out to your closest homeboy, your brother, your family, whoever that you feel like will give you the best advice. Even have them help you, seek a therapist if you need to. But don't harbor those feelings, because if you're having those thoughts, you definitely need to get some help. So just start off by saying that. But the way it made me feel was I felt every sentence that John Wall was saying, man, because I've battled some depression. I can't say I've been depressed, but I've been in some spots in my life where I was like, yo, like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't I get right? Where am I going in life? Why am I not where I need to be? Things of that nature. So it's like, and just like you mentioned, man, I lost my mom when I was 12. She got HIV when I was 8. And I was watching her over those 4 years just deteriorate, bro. And it was hard. I went from having a mother that was, very supportive. She was absent at times, but very supportive, to me being a 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old, literally taking care of my mother, helping her eat, helping her take her medicine, helping her bathe. Seeing her in that vulnerable position was tough, bro. And when she passed, when I was 12, I had thoughts of like, yo, I miss my mom, bro. I want to be with my mom. I had those thoughts. I didn't go follow through with anything and actually try, but I was like, yo, like, my mom's not here no more. Like, why? I want to be with her. I had those thoughts too, but of course I didn't go through with any of that. I'm here today, but
right. And we're glad you.
I went on for sure. I appreciate that, but I went through life and through high school, met my brother, my co-host here, and I got these friends around me and this support system around me where they kept me grounded and they kept me lively, and they gave me that positive reinforcement that I needed, and I kept those guys around me between D'Lo and our boy Marcus, who was supposed to be we're not gonna get into that, but our boy
Yeah, don't
Marcus,
get
they
into
kept me,
that.
yeah, they
You
kept
messed
they
up a
kept
good
me
moment
grounded.
right there, man.
Now,
Dang.
facts. Now we good. We good. We good. They kept me grounded and they kept me lively, and they kept that positive reinforcement in my life, and I appreciate my two brothers for that.
Yeah.
But in the last 5 years, I lost my other major woman in my life was my grandmother, who literally took care of me from 2 years old up until, was that 5 years ago? So 32. And then my uncle died a year after that, and I think that was like I think Unc dying was, what I'm saying, shit, he wanted to be with Mom Dukes. Like, what I'm saying? He was grieving a lot because after Granny died, he was grieving a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So he passed away, which was really my only father figure in my life, my whole life, was my Uncle G, my Uncle Greg. God rest his
Mm-hmm.
soul. All of y'all, love y'all. So I had some it's been some times, bro, where you get those special people in your life, along with things that happened in your own personal life. It's like John Wall was on top of the world, just forced Game 7 against Boston in
Mm-hmm.
2017. And he was on top of the world. In the next game, he tears his Achilles. Now the one thing that's his sanctuary, which is basketball, is now taken away from him. So he's dealing with the injuries and dealing with his mom battling cancer. And within that whole thing, everything just kind of crumbles beneath him, man. And it's like, I understand why he had those feelings, man. 100%.
Yeah.
Because I've been through a lot of that. I've been through a lot of that in my life, so I understand
Yeah.
why. I
Yeah.
didn't personally seek help, which I probably should, or I should have, or actually should, just to kind of get some things off my chest, man. But man, reading this really put a lot of things into perspective for me, for sure.
Yeah. And again, we're glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I love you, bro. You know that.
Love you too, bro.
And
Love you too, man.
I feel like this article was well written. It was you could tell. So sometimes articles are written, they're written by a person, but you can tell like somebody else wrote that for them. But
Hmm.
this article, you could tell it was written by John Wall.
It was
And everything that he said, he meant, and
100%.
everything that he wrote came from his heart.
Hmm.
And as you mentioned, he lost. He was on top of the world. I mentioned it, but you reiterated. He was on top of the world, and then the next minute, he's going through hell.
Hmm.
And we've all lost people. Most of us have lost significant others that were our stability. And as soon as you lose stability, I don't care who you are, I don't care how much money you have, I don't care how much fame you have, your sanity is gonna go,
Right.
because it makes you question, what are you really here for? And him losing his mother, who he said was his best friend, who he said he called 6 times to 7 times a day. I
Hmm.
mean, it makes me feel bad because I know for sure I don't call my mom 6 or 7 times a day. Shit, I barely call her 6 or 7 times a week, if we being honest.
If we being honest, yeah, facts,
but
yeah.
but so that to me tells me, yeah, she was a true friend to him.
Hmm.
Um, but to lose her, on top of not being able to play, those are two things that can make anybody go crazy. And in the article, he says, I know it sounds crazy. Everybody's like, yo, you are
You,
a millionaire
yeah,
and you talking about you depressed. Again,
bro.
it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter how much fame you have. You lose the stability and you will lose your sanity. I mean,
Hmm.
we hear it all the time. The richest and most famous people in the world are the most unhappy people in the world.
Bro, look at Robin Williams, bro.
Yes,
He showed himself to be the happiest man in the world. He was the most one of the most amazing artists and actors I've ever seen in my life.
for
And he
sure.
took his life because he was unhappy. And he
Right.
had all of the same things that John Wall had, bro.
Hmm.
Every people loved him. He had all the money in the world. But when you in that dark place, bro, it don't matter.
It
It
doesn't
don't
matter.
matter. You need to seek help. It don't matter if you in that. If you can have all the friends and family and riches around you, bro. But if you don't
Mhm.
like D'Lo said, if you ain't got stability, you're gonna lose your sanity.
Right.
That was a, I ain't gonna lie, that was a bar. I ain't gonna lie, that was a
Hey,
bar, but that
you
was a
know,
bar. I ain't gonna
you
hold
know,
you. That was a bar. You feel me?
I spit them out every once in a while. You
A
know what
little,
I'm
you
talking
know,
about?
say a little something, son.
Yeah,
You feel
yeah.
me? But yeah,
But
but man,
so
it's crazy. Yeah.
we can't. I don't know anybody personally that has gone through this, or has taken the full execution of what John Wall was talking about.
Hmm.
Gladly, I don't, because I think that would really affect me. Um,
Facts.
but we can kind of see glimpses of it in one person that I'm sure everybody that listens to this knows. Now, he loves himself so much that I don't think he will ever do it,
I think I know
but
exactly who you're talking about.
but Kanye West.
Yes. Yes.
Kanye West is
Yes.
a perfect example of this, what John Wall's talking about, but
Hmm.
he hasn't actually done it. If you watched his documentary on Netflix called Genius,
Hmm.
when he was with his mom, his mom was here, he was a completely different person. Still a genius, and
Still a
he still
genius.
is a genius. He still is a genius now, but he was a completely different person. Lost his mom, his rock, who she was very intellectual.
Legit. Hmm.
She was like, she let him be who he was, but she also gave him that aspect of groundedness and you know
Humility.
yeah, she pumped it into him, so
Hmm.
she kept him level headed.
Right.
And then he lost her, he lost himself basically. I mean, he's trying to come back a little bit. And I'm not judging Kanye.
Right.
I love Kanye. After watching that documentary, I'm like, okay, I can understand where he's at right now. But
Hmm.
he lost her, he lost himself. And again, that stability is a key element in our life. A lot of people don't understand how much stability is for the soul and how much
Right, man.
it is a part of who we are as humans. Because um dang, I forgot the law now. Maslow's law
Maslow's law. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
says, you have to have the basics before you can move on to the next level. And the
Hmm.
basics are food, shelter, sex, and it's a fourth one. I can't remember the fourth one, but you have to have those basics. I'll look it up. You have to have those basics before you can move on. That's the foundation of life. If you don't have that, you can't do anything else. And so for John Wall, he loses his foundation and everything else crumbles.
For sure, for sure. And like you said, man, so he lost his mom. He went along with his career. He ends up losing his wife and technically losing his kids.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's now you see him all over social media and all over the internet fighting for his kids and making these TikToks and these going on live. And man, this is like you can visually see the mental health
Hmm.
crumbling below Kanye at some points. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He's kind of getting it back now, you know what I'm saying? Getting back in tune with his kids, getting back in tune with Kim, you know what I'm saying? And having his own brand now, you know, as you said, Sway had the answers back in the day. So now he's kind of getting back to himself, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? But mental health is everywhere, man. And this article about John Wall really opened my eyes to a lot of things, man. And it was this article was deep, bro.
It
Article
was
was
deep.
deep, man. It was
And,
deep. It
yeah,
was
it
deep.
was deep. And ironically, this month is National Suicide Prevention Month.
Prevention month.
So another reason why that article hit home was because of that. We've seen a lot of that lately, um, with the CEO or the CFO of a company taking his.
Mhm.
We're not saying the word before certain reasons, but
Just say self deletion,
yeah,
self
self
deleting.
deletion. Yeah, it's self
Hmm.
deleting.
The
And we're
young
not
lady that won Miss Universe,
Miss
you know, what
America,
was that?
Miss. Yep,
Miss America.
yep.
Was that a year? That was almost a year ago now. She
Nah, was it? No,
how
that was
long?
like earlier this year, wasn't it? No, I think you're right. Actually, I think you're right. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, mental health is definitely a key aspect in our life right now. Take care of your mental.
Hmm.
Don't burn yourself out. I mean, it's easier said than done, but please make sure you're taking care of your mental. Make sure you have good people around you. I always
Yeah.
say a person with good relationships of different types can endure quite a bit. So if you have good parents or a good motherly or fatherly figure, good siblings or people that you consider to be your siblings.
Hmm.
So like me and Sticks consider to be each other's brothers,
Hmm.
good friends, and maybe even throw a therapist in there. You can endure quite a bit because and these people can't be yes men. Just
Facts.
so they
Facts.
can't be yes men, but they have to be somebody that you can talk to. You respect their perspective. You understand that the things that they're saying to you don't come from a place of malice.
Hmm.
If you have that, you can endure quite a bit. But if you don't have that, if you think you can do everything by yourself, as John Wall mentioned in his, and that's why I felt it so much, is
Yeah.
he mentioned in his article that he grew up out the mud. He was taught to not to ask for anything and figure things out himself. I didn't come out the mud, but I had a fairly decent upbringing, but I was taught to figure things out myself. I don't need to ask anybody for help. So I internalized a lot of things, but I've never
Yeah.
had any thoughts of self deletion.
I'm the same way.
Um, luckily, I have figured out most things that I need to figure out by myself. But then, as of lately, I've also figured out how to ask for help here and there.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you
Yeah,
have
man.
those four things, honestly, a good parently figure, siblings or friends, and maybe even a therapist, if you believe you need help, you can endure quite a bit. And
Yeah.
that foundational level for Maslow's hierarchy theory is air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction. So
Hmm.
John Wall's shelter, which he felt like was his mother, and this is this actual shelter, the house that you are, or the thing that keeps you from the elements, is
Hmm.
what Maslow's talking about. But you know, psychologically, your shelter could be somebody that, as he mentioned in his article, keeps you grounded, and that
Yeah.
was his mother and his
That was his
grandmother.
mother. That was his
So
rock, man. That was his rock.
yeah.
But it's also good to see John Wall getting back, man. He just did a pickup some pickup runs with PG with Paul George,
Hmm.
and he screamed out, "I'm back!" But it wasn't like I'm back as far as basketball. I'm back to myself again,
Right.
and that's what made me feel good. Just watching him working out and watching him hoop and getting back to being the John Wall that shit. I met John Wall in person. He
Hmm.
came to Central a couple of times because he's real good friends with Coach Moten. So I met
Okay.
John Wall in person, and he's a good dude, man. So I'm really happy to see him getting back to himself and getting back on the court and not having to amputate his foot and fighting back off that infection and getting back off that Achilles injury and hopefully getting back to himself, man. Because he's gonna be with the Clippers this year,
Mm.
so it's gonna be ugly if him, PG, and the Claw get right. And
Yeah.
come on, bro. The Clippers
Yeah.
gonna be scary, man. They got a big three. If John Wall can get back to Wizards John Wall, they got a big three, man. They
Oof,
got a big
that
three
is
for
scary
sure.
because he was him and yeah, that's scary. But yeah,
It's gonna be
I'll
scary, man.
finish out the whole thing by saying make sure Sticks talked about mental health. Make sure you're taking care of your mental health, calling in every individual. I'll reiterate that.
Hmm.
Let's go back. Calling individuals that, you know, just checking up on people, make sure they're good. I'll reiterate that. Make sure that
Hmm.
you call in those people that you love on an ongoing basis. If you think they're battling with anything, even if you don't think they're battling anything, um, and the ones that you probably need to call the most are the ones that you think have it all together, because they
Hmm.
more than likely don't.
Yeah, that's very true.
So make sure that you just calling the people that you love on a continuous basis, checking on them, having those open conversations, allowing them to be vulnerable, and vice versa, them allowing you to be vulnerable because you can't always be the ear that people, the shoulder that people lean on when they're
Hmm.
having issues. You also have to have a shoulder to lean on,
Right, right.
and then also give the honest feedback to them, even if it's an unpopular opinion.
Hmm.
Have those conversations. Don't try to be an asshole about it.
Right.
Don't try to be an asshole about every
Be
situation.
tactful. Be tactful in what you say for sure.
Right. Be tactful in what you're trying to say. But yeah, I just think this whole article with John Wall was for me well needed. Um,
Hmm.
I'm glad he was able to open up and get that off of his chest. You can definitely see some growth in John Wall. I just hope he ain't gonna be in LA throwing up them gang signs.
Nah, I hope not. I hope he just out there flexing, you know what I'm saying? Getting
Yeah,
right. You feel me? I hope he
yeah,
just do that. He don't need to do
yeah.
nothing else.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
don't throw them hands. Don't throw them
Don't throw
hands
them
up
hands up,
because them
my boy.
boys in
Don't throw
LA
them
do
hands up.
not play.
They don't play about that. But just
Yeah.
to kind of reiterate a little bit of what Lo was saying, man, just giving people an ear to listen to, because it's a saying that I live by a lot, and I've learned to do a lot more in my life, is that you've given 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so you can listen twice as much as you talk. So sometimes people just need to vent. You know what I'm saying? So give them that opportunity to do that. You know what I'm saying? So listen twice as more than you talk, so that way people can get things off their chest and make yourself a good person to speak to and give positive feedback. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who wears Under Armour basketball shoes. Myself.
We were about to go to the same play. Okay, let's go there.
Listen, I don't know
Another notable person to sign a lifetime contract is Michael Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan's contract was not worth $1 billion, but his brand makes him $100 million a year.
Crazy.
His
It's crazy.
grandkids are set.